Good morning, everyone. So I'm Katharina Lueth, head of Europe at Raisin, which means I take care of our internationalization across Europe largely. So when we look at savings across Europe, it's an unbelievable figure of 10 trillion euros that Europeans have on savings and current accounts. We talk a lot about investment products usually when we're in fintech, but savings products such as overnight deposits and term deposits are actually still the most important and usually the first investment product of any retail client. However, if we look at the past, it's now almost 10 years, things have actually looked extremely dire for most people that have put money into savings accounts, with all of Europe being in a low interest rate environment, effectively actually even partially negative interest rates. However, when we look across the European Union, we actually still see quite some differences between different countries. So whereas Spain and Germany have unbelievably low average interest rates, there are some other countries such as Italy and France where rates are actually quite a bit higher. And ultimately also within each country, we have quite a bit of an interest rate difference between incumbent banks where most people have their money, and then maybe younger or smaller players which are still able to offer more competitive rates. So from that basically came the idea of offering a marketplace where through one single platform customers now have access to 40 banks, over 160 products, and in 2016 savers could still earn an average interest rate of 1.4%, which doesn't sound all that much, but it's still a lot more than the 0% that most of them would usually be getting on their, let's say if they were with Deutsche Bank or any high street bank here in the UK. Our product is one that is available on the one hand side via our own brand and our own marketplace. On the other hand, we are by now also available as via an API to integrate into third-party banks. One of the first integrations we have done is with N26. So basically is the idea those banks that offer very low interest rates or that don't have their own savings product, allowing them to also offer their customers an attractive savings product without the customer ever having to leave the online banking environment. So if we look at N26, you will see customers are basically accessing the Raisin products, all of it from within the N26 app in a very smooth process. They choose how much they want to invest, how long for. They might need to answer a couple of extra questions, for example, on source of funds and taxation, and then basically they confirm their order. All they do is they enter a PIN and that's it. So basically, within 30 seconds, I've opened my savings account at actually a third-party bank in a completely different country with an attractive interest rate, rather than saying, okay, N26 doesn't have a savings account. Now I go, I search, I find a separate bank, open an account with them, have my next online banking credentials, have it all distributed in 3 different places. So what are the advantages, or what's our business model based on? So for the savers on the one hand side, we offer them extremely attractive offers that otherwise they wouldn't have access to. So most offers that we provide are cross-border, there's language barriers. Traditionally, most banks would ask you to actually physically show up. So if I want an Italian bank account, I need to fly to Italy. Usually they'd expect I speak Italian, which I don't. And they might even expect me to have an Italian tax ID, an Italian address, etc. So customers can now access offers that previously were not available to them. Also, customers access all of this via one single platform. So I no longer need to say, well, Bank A now dropped their interest rates, now I want to go with Bank B. So close one account, open a new online banking, go through the entire identification process again, and have my money in 5 different places. And for the retail customers, this is completely free. They don't pay anything for this, and they're not willing to either. On the other hand, for the product banks, This is an extremely flexible source of getting high-quality retail funding. It's something that fully counts into all of their capital ratios as retail funding, 100%. They can diversify their funding across a number of countries, which allows them to stabilize. And with us, what they have is a fully variable cost. So they don't have a marketing fee per client. They don't pay any setup cost to enter into the corporation. All they do is they pay a variable fee on the funding that we send them, and they get access to exclusive distribution channels where we have distribution in place. Aside from this being very nice for both banks and retail customers, we also truly believe that this has a larger macroeconomic role. It truly helps support the single European market, which in theory shouldn't require something like a marketplace such as Raisin, but ultimately there are still a lot of, while not legal, but rather factual barriers that keep the single market from working effectively. Customers don't know about a lot of those offers that are out there, so we help both retail customers move into other markets, but also the more medium-sized banks for whom it might not be feasible to build a market presence in other countries. We help them also to move across borders to other European markets. It's a truly digital marketplace, and it's almost fully open access as long as parties are qualified, meaning they need to have the according licenses in place and pass a certain due diligence. But both on the distribution side and on providing products, it's as open as can be, and we truly believe that building that type of a platform has a larger macroeconomic value. So maybe very briefly, where do we stand? So we started almost 4 years ago, so we now stand at roughly 100,000 customers, 4.5 billion euros invested volume, so that's 2.5 billion additional investment just this year. So we're really growing quite exponentially. Our customers have earned an extra 32 million euros of interest that they wouldn't have earned had they invested in average interest rates in their country. And most of them have their money not at average interest rates, but at zero. And we have managed to integrate in one single platform more than 40 banks, which is also, we believe, quite an achievement. And we started 4 years ago when API still was a bit of a very new term. And our platform is available to savers basically across the entire European Union and European economic area. So with that, obviously, come numerous awards. We've collected so far in 3 funding rounds a total of 60 million euros in funding, and are the clear market leader in our field with a net promoter score of 43, which most banks would only dream of. So what's next for us? Where are we going? So ultimately, we believe we will become the savings place, the marketplace for savings and investment products, and really want to be the core angle around which customers access their savings and investment products. We have already integrated a huge number of partner banks, and there will be many more to come. We will also soon launch our first very simple and low-cost investment products. We provide direct access through our own platforms to retail customers, and since a couple of weeks also to small and medium enterprises, because for them negative interest rates have become real. But we also provide the opportunity to access our products via third-party providers rather than going directly through us, in order to really truly spread out the product and allow everyone access to the most competitive savings products and investment products in the market. So thank you very much, everyone.